As usual, I'll be taking you through the proceedings because I think at Eros now we believe that we're very passionate about what we do. We love what we do. We've been working on this project for the last couple of months, and it's so ingrained in us that I think nobody can do justice talking about it than somebody from Eros now itself. Siachen rings a lot of bells, strikes a lot of chords. In the mind, you think about a tough terrain, extreme weather conditions, a battlefield, so on and so forth. But there's actually a chord that it strikes in the heart, and that's a chord of pride. I think that's where this all started. I'll give you a small example. You know, when we were watching the national anthem before the movies start, there's quite a few of them. All of them are beautiful, some with musicians, some with children, with the fluttering Indian flag, and we love all of these national anthems. But there's one particular national anthem which I'm sure we've all seen at some of the cinemas, which is shot at up to the glacier. Our first participant, or first member of the team, is an actor. All right, Rannvijay Singh, thank you for joining us. Our next participant has brought our country a lot of pride, and the state of Maharashtra, but he's literally inseparable from his hockey stick. Let's see who it is.
I grew up hearing stories of our brave soldiers at Siachen. All my life, I dreamt of being there to see it for myself. Now, I'm going to make it come true. I am Rannvijay Singh, and I'm prepared for my salute to Siachen.
Rannvijay, brother! Good to have you back on stage. All right. Our next participant, actually none of them need an introduction, but he more than anybody else. Women have been swooning on him from his early days. He's been around for over a decade, first as a model, then as a very successful actor, national award winner. I'm not going to say no further, let the visual do the talking.
It takes a lot of grit, passion, dedication and sacrifices. It takes a very special kind to serve at Siachen. I'm Arjun Rampal and I'm pushing my limits to reach the icy heights. For my heroes, for the heroes of Siachen.
Arjun Rampal, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Now that's 7 of the 9. 2 of the 9 unfortunately could not be here with us today because they had prior commitments. As you know, one of them is a cricketer and he's on cricketing duties. So while they can't join us on stage, let's take a look at the promos so you know who they are. From film, television, fashion and sport, who've taken it upon themselves to trek up to the glacier and convey our salutes to the ones who got us up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed any further, I'd like to invite on stage our partner, who's become a friend over the last couple of weeks when we've discussed this project, the CEO of HTC, Mr. Faisal Siddiqui.
Thank you, Zulfi. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be associated with Eros on this wonderful initiative, and I wish all the participants all the best. Thank you.
Okay, we did mention that we have a very special guest this evening amongst us. If you read your invite carefully, it said the 9 and a guest of honor. Zulfi, I think you're the best place to introduce him. He's just way too large for me to do this.
Yeah, as we mentioned that we've got a very special guest. I'm just going to take about a minute to, speak about him. I need this paper in hand to get my facts right. In his first boxing match at the National Defense Academy, this young cadet was faced with an opponent who was at least 1 feet taller than him. This young cadet went on to fight the bout the only way he knew. He stiffened his muscular neck and charged. This young cadet lost the bout to a worthy opponent. That worthy opponent, Senior Cadet Sujit Francis Rodriguez, went on to become the Chief of Army Staff. Even though this young cadet lost the bout, he went on to earn a name for himself known as the Bull. He's had an attitude of relentlessly charging into every challenge that has been given to him. Over a period of time, and that attitude never diminished. He went on to become India's most decorated soldier mountaineer. Some facts about him. The first person to scale Nanda Devi in 1964. The first to put India on Everest in 1965, which was a world record. The first to lead his team to climb Kanchenjunga from the toughest northeast face in 1976. A feat described by several experts as far more difficult than the Everest ascent. As all of you all are aware, the Olympics are on at Rio right now. And there's something interesting I want to share with you. In 1931, a German expedition tried to summit Kanchenjunga from that route. They didn't succeed. But in the Los Angeles Olympics, they were given an honorary gold medal for their attempt, their feat, even though failed, simply for attempting it. This officer became the first man to lead, and they actually summited Kanchenjunga from that route. Of the 13 highest peaks above 24,000 feet that have been climbed by Indians, 9 have been climbed under his leadership. However, in 1981, there was something that he did that India will always be grateful for. He planted the Indian flag on the Siachen glacier and became the first man in the world to have scaled that uncharted Siachen, the world's longest non-polar glacier, from its freezing snout to its icy source. As he would say it, once you get the heights, you're the tiger. We put the tricolor at the furthest end of Siachen. In 1984, his efforts and his reconnaissance formed the bedrock of Operation Meghdoot. Operation Meghdoot was when the Indian Army thwarted Pakistan's occupation of Siachen, the world's highest battlefield as we know it. As Indian troops established more and more posts, a key post on the glacier was named after him, perhaps the only living Indian Army officer to enjoy this singular honor. This highly decorated officer of the Kumaon Regiment has been awarded the Param Vishish Seva Medal, Kirti Chakra, Ati Vishish Seva Medal, the McGregor Medal, IMF Gold Medal, Padma Shri, and Arjuna Award. Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed my honor and privilege to present to you and invite on stage India's son, Karan Narinder Bull Kumar.
I think he deserves a standing ovation, ladies and gentlemen. Colonel Kumar deserves a standing ovation, son of the soil. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us Siachen. Thank you for making us proud.
Ladies and gentlemen, since we found the mistakes in American maps and got Siachen Glacier into us, India, the lots of VIPs have gone there. Dr. Abdul Kalam went there as the president. Our Prime Minister went and spent Diwali with men in Siachen. But the celebrities who are going now, I think will be the most welcome by the soldiers at Siachen Glacier for 2 reasons. Firstly, they are celebrities, and secondly, everybody else went by helicopter, and they have dared to go there by foot. Wish them all the luck.
I think it's a good time to have a photo ops before.
We'll do a quick photo ops, yes, before we get into the Q&A.
I'll also like to invite on stage the leader of the expedition, Ms. Dilshad Master.
Dilshad has a very, very, tough job at hands.
Yeah.
at hands because she has to. There you go. Now it's official. Arjun said it.
Oh, you're making me nervous now. Hi, everyone. Yeah, we've got an eclectic team of people here. It's going to be a fun ride. I've told them all that it's going to be a life-changing experience for every one of them. You're going to find out more about your body than you ever knew before. You're going to find out more about your mind than you ever knew before. And on one of my toughest treks that I've ever done, Bull Kumar once told me when I asked him, "Can I do it?" And he said to me, "When your body packs up, your mind will get you there." So I'm going to make sure that each one of their minds gets them there. Thank you.
I request all of you to just spread out a little bit so we can get the photo ops going and we can place the chairs for the Q&A. All right, just move in a little closer. All right, now that you know what's happening and who these people are, we have one more promo to show you. This audiovisual captures exactly what the essence of this initiative is and how it's going to happen. I think we need this one last promo before we get in the Q&As, and this should tell the entire story.
And I was the principal of National Ski School. I got a message from Sheikh Abdullah Sahab, who was the CM of J&K, to come down and see him. When I went to see him, he had two Germans with him who wanted to raft down Indus. According to them, it was one of the 5 largest rivers of the world and not been rafted down at that altitude. Well, I accepted the offer, but I said it must not be only German expedition, but it should be Indo-German expedition. It was a great success, not because the adventure was big, because there was emergency and censorship. So whatever happened to us, even if my boat got punctured, it got maximum publicity. And that's how, when Mrs. Gandhi came to Srinagar, she asked me to brief her on the same expedition. It wasn't much an adventure, but we got a lot of publicity. 2 years later, another guy comes here. He says, "You got us all the permissions for Indus. We want to raft down Nubra River." Now, Nubra River starts from the snout of Siachen glacier. Where this 87 kilometers glacier ends, that's the start of Nubra River. But he showed me an American map in which this whole area was in Pakistan, 10,000 square kilometers. And he said, "Look, though it is in Pakistan, but they never come down." Well, I bought that map from him for $5, and I knew that American map and all the European maps and some of the Indian maps were wrongly marked. We went to the army headquarters and found out that Siachen Glacier was an Indian territory. And, well, being a mountaineer, I was sent there, and luckily, we wrecked all the 7 passes from China and from Pakistan coming into Siachen, all above 19,000 feet. We climbed the highest mountain, Kangri, the northernmost mountain, which is the tri-junction of Pakistan occupied Kashmir, China occupied Kashmir, and India. And that's how the Siachen is with us. Thank you.
Nothing more than 15 kilos. It'll get thrown out.
But during training session, like, what was it like? How was it like?
Can I answer that for 1 second? I think the training, people seem to have a misnomer about these long trekking expeditions. You have to build stamina, and cardio is one of the main things. But besides that, it's really It's all here. You know, no amount of training is going to get you to walk that 16 kilometers uphill at a 60-degree incline if your mind is not telling you that you can do it. Sorry.
So I think a lot of questions are, directed towards Dilshad. I'll just take 30 seconds to actually introduce her to you for people who don't know her. She's one of the pioneers as far as television industry is concerned. She came to India and set up some of the first television channels that were launched, the cable channels in India. She's headed a lot of companies in different capacities, and then suddenly she decided to quit the corporate life. How lucky, I wish all of us could do that. Very recently, not too long ago, she was on the cover of India Today Women's Magazine, very recently on the cover of Forbes Magazine. If you may permit me, if I can talk about it a little bit.
She's giving you the daggers, bro.
Yeah,
daggers.
Six weeks after a major,
Kilos for him.
Can one excess kg of ours go to him? He carries 17.
It's going to.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
It'll be the porter.
Yeah. 6 weeks after a major surgery, she trekked all the way up to the Everest base. She's now a motivational speaker. She attends, she speaks on different subjects, and she's also an expedition leader.
Also, when she gets fever, she runs it off on the treadmill.
Yeah,
She doesn't take a medicine, she runs it off on the treadmill. That's the introduction.
Very recently, when we've got a group, we talk about it, and Dilshad said that, she keeps on advising us that 2 weeks to go, 10 days to go, 9 days to go, do this X, Y, Z. And then she posted something that she was not feeling too well, and her medicine, we go and pop in medicine, right? That's what we do. Or we rest it out. She got onto the treadmill, she ran for half an hour, 45 minutes, posted that video for us that the best way, if you're feeling unwell or you think you're getting into a flu, just run it out. So she was on the treadmill.
Or just run every day, you won't fall sick.
Okay, Yuvraj Valmiki, for you, considering that I think सारे sports person अभी बहुत कुछ face कर रहे हैं as far as Olympics and are so many opinions about them and not understanding what they have to go through. I want to personally ask you, for the sake of not just media but people who are going to be reading this, आपका message to the Olympians and what's happening there, and being a sports person, कि आप अपनी hockey stick वहाँ लेके जाने वाले हैं? Because somebody asked आप क्या क्या लेके जाओगे, so I'm very keen to know that.
नहीं ऐसी बात नहीं है ना, जब देश की बात आती है तो वी एज एन इंडियन एंड आई एज अ हॉकी प्लेयर रिप्रेजेंट कंट्री. सो जब जुल्फी भाई ने जब ये कहा था कि आपको ये करने जाना है, सो आई थिंक वी ऑल ऑफ अस आर गोइंग देयर टू थैंक द इंडियन आर्मी फॉर व्हाट दे डू फॉर आवर कंट्री. सो एंड इट्स नॉट अबाउट हॉकी स्टिक शायद अगर उल्टी होती तो मैं शायद ले जाता, बट येस विद द फ्लैग ऑन माई चेस्ट आई विल गो देयर एंड आई विल कम बैक स्ट्रॉन्गर.
Something, another very interesting about Yuvraj. When I met him first time, when I told him about this, he says, "Chalna hai." And then he followed her by saying, "मैं अभी just कश्मीर से वापस आया हूँ." ऐसे कश्मीर में क्या कर रहे थे? He said कि हमारे मराठा regiment वहाँ posted है, and wherever the Maratha regiment is posted, I visit them to motivate the soldiers. And we know that in the armed forces, hockey is a very, very popular game. The army has been one of the bedrocks of promoting the game and have some amazing players from the army, from the defense forces, as far as hockey is concerned. So wherever the Maratha regiment is posted, Yuvraj, whenever he's not playing, he makes it a point to take time out, visit the soldiers, and play a game with them and motivate them.
All right, we're going to just take one last question. I think we're running out of time now, so one last question.
Wanted to ask the organizer a question. So, Zulfi, it's to you. Since you've selected 9 people to go on an expedition to Siachen, of the 9, why just 2 women, especially with the fact that a lady as competent as Dilshad is heading the troop? Why just 2 women? Why not more than 2?
Okay. First one will be a bit of a joke, and then I'll give you a serious answer. Dilshad is equal to 9. Yeah. And I think everyone's going to tell you that. No,
just to balance the ratio.
Yeah, the weightage. Yeah, but on a more serious note.
We asked him the same question. Why just 2 women, dude?
Yeah. But on a more serious note, it was not intended like that. From the time Dilshad called me, and Dilshad doesn't give too much of leeway. She's very, very strict, let me tell you that. And she told me, you only have 10 days to give me 9 names. You know, that's it. And Dilshad is not a person you can argue with. If she tells you it's 10 days, it's 10 days, you know. And in 10 days, we spoke to a few people. There were more names, but you can understand that for all these people who live in a public life, they're top of their careers, they're doing some fantastic thing, the time commitment is phenomenal, you know. And all of you all know, one is the prep work and then 20 days being away from work. You know, I wish I had more time. Next time you'll see a different skew altogether. But in that 10 days, I was actually hoping that there'll be some people who say, we'll think, we'll not think. But the beauty of it is that the first night that I spoke to him, I told you, I spoke to 11 and 9 said, yes, let's go. And that's what, the time was also over and that's how it happened. So it was not intended to be like that. It just happened. It all went in a flow, and I think the documentation, and someone asked me, how do you propose to show? We'll showcase the story. It's going to be a phenomenal series, phenomenal footage that we are going to get there. The story, we'll weave it together. So everything is on the go. And I think that's the way it should be.
Hi, अर्जुन, मेरा एक सवाल आपसे है कि आज़ादी के इतने सालों के बाद फिल्मों में जितने बदलाव आए हैं, आप इसे किस तरीके से देखते हैं एक एक्टर के नाते? फिल्मों का जो बदलाव आया है 47, 57, then 60s, then 70s, 90s, now 2016 में हम इस बदलाव को कैसे देखते हैं एक अभिनेता के तौर पर आप सारी फिल्मों के?
I think हर चीज़ में बदलाव आता है. I think that's something which is going to happen. Change is inevitable. It has to happen. There's going to be more growth. There's going to be different kind of technology, techniques, all of that people kind of bring. And you have to grow with the times. And I think that's exactly what's happening. बदलाव तो आना ही है. We can't be stuck in the 30s or the 40s all the time.
What question to be, like, is this event going to take place next year also? Are you planning to make it an annual event for?
I can tell you one thing. You know, the response that we've got from friends, colleagues in the industry, people that who've helped us on the way, has been very, very encouraging. And why not? I think there are so many untold, amazing stories in India. You know, and as a platform, I had a company where our core business is storytelling. And I think most of us are used to consume story in a particular way, or there are certain genres that we do. But there are phenomenal stories that are there, which need to be told. And I actually believe, why not? I think these are our stories, you know, and they need to be told. So I'm hoping that, why next year? Maybe sooner.
हसन, आपसे भी जानना चाहेंगे, आप बहुत देर से शांत हैं, कुछ बताएं इस ट्रिप के बारे में और कैसे 20 डेज आपके होने वाले हैं?
या 20 डेज बहुत मज़ेदार होने वाले हैं. इस ट्रिप के बारे में I'll just sum it up with all the questions that you guys have asked throughout. Agreeing with everything that all my comrades have said. Actor, model, mentally और physically बहुत tough होता है. हम वो लोग हैं जो अपने घर बार छोड़ के आए थे इस शहर में और हम आज आपके सामने बैठे हैं. तो हमारी physical और mental toughness वहाँ से है. As Indians, we are proud. हम लोग तो इतनी अच्छी जगह बैठे हैं, अभी घर जाएंगे, खाना खाएंगे, घूमेंगे फिरेंगे, फिल्म देखेंगे और वो जो कुछ हम कर रहे हैं अपने लिए कर रहे हैं, मजे में कर रहे हैं. By the time we are doing all this and all the time that we are doing all this, वो लोग वहाँ खड़े हैं ताकि हम ये सब कर सकें आराम से. तो ये एक ऐसा मौका है जो बहुत खुशकिस्मती से मिलता है. So that is the, you know, inspiration. That thank you, that we can say thank you. और ये 20 दिन सब साथ में उस थैंक यू करने जा रहे हैं और बहुत मजे करने जा रहे हैं. So yes, looking forward to it.
All right, at that note, I think we'll call it a wrap. Friends from the media who'd like to stay back, get some interviews, one-on-ones, you can stay back. The rest can join us for some tea, coffee and snacks. Thank you very much, everybody. Do spread the word, #salute Siachen. We want this message to go out loud and clear to all Indians who want to send their salutes to the soldiers, and a big round of applause for our participants who are going to trek. All the best, guys. We'll see you on the other side of the camera.